Call it Park Bubba Sparks.
Booty, 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 rockin' everywhere. Booty, booty.
Right here you guys can see the table of contents as far as for the outline, as far as for the study guide for the AMT. This is basically the AMT is going to be the American Medical Technologist, and that pretty much gives you a background of the history of the test. Again, this is the certified test for medical assistant. And you guys can pretty much see the table of contents of everything that you'll be going through. I'm not going to briefly keep on that, but they pretty much give you the general information, just the background as far as for a medical technologist. Now the test is computer based. It gives information as far as for that, but I'm not going to go too much into this. I'm just going to talk about the study guide part. So as far as regarding the study guide part for this test, there are a total of 200 to 210 items on the test, and this is the way as far as for how it'll be scored for you guys. You also see on here that they have percentages as far as for how much will be on the test. So for the general medical assistant knowledge, there's 41%, and these will be the titles that it'll cover for you. You also have on here that administrative medical assisting. They have the insurance information, medical receptionist, finance, and and bookkeeping. That's 24% that'll be on the test. You also have clinical medical assisting. This part will be most importantly important because this will be the back end as far as for medical assistant. It's 35% on the test. Now also I will be doing a video where I do the RMA test versus the NCCT. This is just the outline. And the study guide helps out because it just shows you an outline of what will all be on the test and what to expect. Alright, so YouTube, this video was highly requested. This video is going to talk about the AMT as far as for the certification for medical assistant. This is going to be one of the another certification tests that you guys will take. So the AMT is basically for becoming a registered medical assistant. If you guys can see that, that's RMA. And basically the AMT is going to be American Medical Technologist, and this is the profit to kind of help you further your education when trying to pursue something more as far as for the medical field. Now just to answer a couple of questions before you guys start asking, this test is both computer and pencil. They're both going to be the same fee. This test contains of 200 to 210 questions. There is no way you can have a calculator on this test. Your test score will be uploaded immediately after completing the test. A paper copy of your results letter is provided to you before leaving the testing center. So those are just basic questions, but let's go over and see as far as for what's all on this test. Now if you guys check my other videos, you guys are able to see where I talk about the NCCT. That's exactly where I took my certification test for medical assistant. I did a video on NCC versus the NHA, that's the National Healthcare Association. Do check out those videos so you guys are able to see. Now as far as for this test, general information if people are looking, the AMT is a national agency that certifies 7 primary destinations of healthcare professionals. You have medical technologists, medical laboratory technologists, you also have office laboratory technologists, medical assistants, phlebotomy technologists or technicians, dental assisting, and medical office administrative specialists. So that's pretty much what they all certify as far as for. So if you guys basically get a copy of this handbook, they give you a lot of information as far as for questions that you may want to ask, like, okay, so how early do I have to come to my test, or how early do I have to do that? So if you print this out, you will have it where you can go online. You go to the AMT website and just type in the study guide PDF, and they'll have the one that's uploaded for you where you're able to print that out. Let's see, you have a total of 3 hours to complete the exam. Proctors will be able to tell you as far as for how much time you will have left as far as for completing the exam. Right, so again, this right here lets you know as far as for how many questions they have on the test. Again, it's 200 to 210, and this is a certain type of way as far as for how they will be grading your test. For the most part, I think they said 20 of the questions will be thrown out as far as for pre-graded. The minimum passing for this test, in order for you to pass, you have to make at least a 70 or above. You cannot make anything else less than 70. Otherwise you will fail that test. Now, as far as for everything that's going over with this test, you have on here general medical assisting knowledge. You also have administrative medical assisting and clinical medical assisting. There's a total of 41% as far as for the general medical assisting. And this is everything that it goes over for you right here. Anatomy and physiology. We also have on here medical technology, terminologist, also medical law. All right. And like I said, that's 41% that'll be on the test. Right here you have 24% as far as for administrative medical assistant. These will be the topics that they go over. And then you have the clinical medical assistant information. That is going to be a total of 35%. Can you believe that the general knowledge one is more percent than the clinical? I just feel like with medical assistant, it should be a lot more clinical questions, because it's like we're always back office. But the thing about it with medical assistant, you could either be front office or back office. So that's why they have so many different ones as far as for medical assistant, whether you can be registered medical assistant, clinical medical assistant, administrative medical assistant, or just a regular medical assistant. All right, and then when you go to the next page, they break down as far as for a little bit more in depth of questions that'll be similar on that test. Here's the anatomy and physiology area, where they pretty much gave you a couple of topics, or also they gave you questions that can be similar on the test. So I feel like this will be good to kind of give you an outline of what type of questions to expect. They also give you an answer key as well too, but you want to try to not look at that, so you can kind of get yourself pretty much ready as far as for that. But I like how they have each column. I feel like every medical assistant test should have a study guide to give you a printout as far as for what percentage will all be on the test, because at the end of the day, you just never know how a person thinks when they're trying to study, or you know, most people get bad anxiety and they feel as if they're probably studying one topic more than another. So when you know as far as for how many percentage will be on the test, this will definitely be good. And the last thing on the last page, they pretty much tell you as far as for information regarding the processing time for the test results to appear. They also talk about the retesting information. For the most part, I feel like the AMT, this test, I haven't heard as much information as far as for this one. If you guys pretty much watch YouTube, you may be able to see most girls' other experience as far as for the AMT, but for the most part, I heard of the NHA, the NCCT, and the AAMA. I haven't heard of the AMT test, but for the most part, it looks like it's a lot structured as far as for administrative work for medical assisting. I definitely would say try to give it a shot. If anybody doesn't have any study guide as far as for AMT, be sure to make sure that you just make copies on your computer at home as far as for the AMT. And this is how it will look for you. It will say AMT Candidate Handbook, and that's how this will look out for you. Now, I will be doing a video where I do compare the AMT versus the NCCT. I always like for you guys to see the difference between the two. I just feel like the more detailed the study guide is, the more better is your chance of passing. Now, it may not work like that all the time for most people, because some people are bad test takers, and it's not nothing to be bad about. It's just something that's just true. Because me myself, I'm actually a bad test taker. I mean, in high school I was really good, but like now, science got math in it and letters and got this, and it's just a lot, you guys. But at the end of the day, if you guys have any questions or so, please leave it in the comments below. I just wanted to go over as far as for how the study guide handbook looks. Again, I never took this type of test. I only took the NCCT. So if you guys have any other questions or any other videos you would like for me to do as far as for the AMT, I'll be sure to let you know. For the most part, I really think this is mainly clinical, because like I said, I didn't really too much see anything where it's like really heavy on pharmacology or anything like that. So yeah, I would definitely try to give this test a shot. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to comment down below and let me know what you think. Peace, y'all.